All right.
How's it going? I'm Garrett.
And this is Arthur.
This is Arthur. And this is the Last American Podcast.
Hell yeah.
George Bush rookie card! Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Mr. September himself! Holy
What do we got up on the list today?
So the first thing is Ron DeSantis announced he's running for president, and Donald Trump had the memes ready to go. I know I've said it. I know I've said it previously, but Donald Trump's PR person is honestly 10 out of 10. I mean, they had the memes ready to go, and they immediately had the Elon Musk rocket crashing.
Yeah.
And exploding with the Ron DeSantis thing over it. And I was like, I thought that was good. And then immediately after that, there were two more memes. Both, one I thought was incredibly questionable. It's like, how are you going to bring the devil and Adolf Hitler like immediately into it? You know what I'm saying? Ron,
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Ron DeSantis Twitter space.
Hello? Is my microphone working correctly?
George, can you just wait while we...
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can all hear you, George. Can you just hold on for a second?
Hilfa, I don't think they can hear me.
I can hear you fine, George. Just speak to the
I don't think George knows how to use Twitter.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Can I please make my big announcement now? Everyone just...
Hello?
Just shut up, George.
Can somebody just mute George?
Dick, could you try not to cough on the...
Okay, so how are we going to take out Trump, you guys?
Guys from the FBI, this is not a private call. This is a public Twitter space. Everyone can listen in.
God damn it.
Anyway, guys, we invited everyone to this Twitter space so Governor Ron DeSantis could...
Everyone just shut the hell up so I can make my announcement, okay?
You go, girl.
Wait, the devil is gay?
So what? Everyone in this call is gay. I happen to know every single one of you has a secret gay lover hidden in your closet.
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verpflichtet sind,
Guys, can we please just calm down?
So anyway, guys, I just wanted to announce that I'm...
Okay, I can hear the governor very well.
Shut up,
Would you please shut up already? I'm running for fucking president, okay?
Yeah, we kind of already knew about it.
Know, Governor.
Congratulations, Governor.
Well, that concludes our Twitter space for today. Thank you to all of our...
Hold your horses, Elon. The real president is going to say a few words. The devil, I'm going to kick your ass very soon. Hitler, you're already dead. Dick Cheney sounds like you'll be joining Hitler very soon. Klaus Schwab and George Soros, I'm putting both your asses in jail. And Ron DeSanctimonious can kiss my big, beautiful 2024 presidential ass. Trump 2024, baby. Let's go.
you know, I mean, I'm not sure who I really lean towards over Trump DeSantis.
First of all I think about is Florida Man posts insane memes. I'm trying to run for president. It's very we've survived Trump and his savagery, but this is like this is the beginning. Like this is the start of the race.
The start, and I mean it's so comical. And like I said, ultimately the way I predict this election going is I see Trump versus DeSantis happening, splitting the Republican Party, and Sleepy Joe gets reelected. Is how I see it playing.
That's not exactly all the way, because that could happen, but it's going to go to the Republican primary, and then we're going to pick a Republican candidate.
Well, no, I know, but that's the thing is I feel like the same way how people kind of left.
Yeah.
The party, and they were like,
Bernie?
not Bernie, but they were like, I'm going to go vote Libertarian or do...
Well, that's what everyone with Bernie, when people didn't vote for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, exactly,
Like,
so exactly. Bernie, so it's like, people are just going to be like, well, if it's not this guy, I'm going to go with someone else, and I think that small percentage is going to be what Sleepy Joe's just going to come out of his basement and
when I watched the video, I had to check. I'm like, this can't be his real account. Like, and it was. And
he's like verify that came from Donald Trump's real account.
There's
and I was like, this is the real one.
Way.
This is the real account.
Like a joke. Like, it's funny that like someone would post this crazy stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's the president posted this insane stuff. I'm like, wow. I'm like, nothing wrong with putting George Soros in jail or anything, but like, you got Hitler and.
You know what's funny is I know
the devil.
Yeah, the gay devil. But yeah. So also I know I'm going to sound not too incredibly intelligent here, but I've heard George Soros a million times, and I really don't know what the guy does. I just know he's super rich, and like I really don't know.
He funds all these district attorneys across just recently, all across the entire United States. George Gaston in L.A., the one that was just got impeached or recalled in San Francisco. These district attorneys like just release all sexual and violent criminals onto the streets.
So wait, this guy just wants to he's just trying to cause. He's just a rich guy who wants to cause chaos. Like what's he trying to do?
Oh, that's what that's what Alex Jones has been saying for 10 years or more. No one understands what he's doing.
Alex Jones has been right quite a few times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can't.
He's been wrong about some stuff for sure, but he's also got a solid track record.
So
he's been right at least 3 times.
In one segment, for example, he claimed that the chemical lining in juice boxes is meant to turn kids into homosexuals.
But the reason there's so many gay people now is because it's a chemical warfare operation. I have the government documents where they said they're going to encourage homosexuality with chemicals so that people don't have children.
So if Alex Jones is talking about it, it's probably correct. But let's play the devil's advocate. What do you think he's trying to do? If you gave him the best of intentions, you would say that he sees there's a disparity in jail and there's more Hispanics and blacks in jail, and any means to release them. Any means to release more black and Hispanic people from jail is good. It doesn't matter if they've killed 5 people
why though?
or they've raped 7 children.
How did he get so rich?
He shorted the Bank of England and completely ruined their currency like in the 90s or maybe even before the 80s.
Oh, so he was just like some normal guy who just had a way out of money option?
First of all, he's never been normal.
Okay.
He was a Jew from Hungary that was... I don't know, his dad and him worked with the Nazis to find other Jews to like...
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's not a good guy. Okay, so
he's never lived a normal life,
okay.
I could say. So that's what I'm saying. He's a very, he's been banned in all kinds of countries. So he's banned in his home country. He's banned in Romania, Czechoslovakia, because he does this everywhere he goes.
Well, it sounds like he should come to America.
Well, he's already here. We have all these district attorneys that are like trying to destroy the country.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the more you know.
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah. So the Florida Man situation with Ron DeSantis and Trump is pretty much like
who would you at the beginning? Who would you go for? Would you go Trump?
Not who would I go for. Who do I think would I win?
Who are you going to go for? Then who do you think will win?
Well, here's what I'll say about it. Okay, Trump. I like Trump on foreign policy. I like what he did with North Korea. I like what he did with the
bigger button.
Iran. He still told Iran to kick it, and there's been a lot of peace deals with Israel. Saudi Arabia. Everything was going smooth, right? And then with Biden, just all turned into hell. Ron DeSantis, I don't know anything about him. He kind of just says what the normal people say, which is a problem. That's what's so great about Trump was he didn't listen to anyone. He just forged his own path. People were telling him Russia's the devil, and he was buddies with Putin. So none of that happened. So I don't think he's going to be as good on the world, but for domestically, DeSantis gets stuff done, and Trump hires a bunch of lunatics that undermine him and screw him over, and he has to fire him in a week. So it's a mixed bag. Ron DeSantis might be a better president for America, but Trump might be a better president for the world.
I like that. You know, I'm still undecided. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who I would go with. You know, I mean, last election I voted for Kanye West. So.
Yeah. Oh, that one is good as George Soros, right?
Well, you know what though? There's not a doubt in my mind that Kanye West would have been better than Joe Biden. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, there would have been a lot of insane things being said in front of a lot of people.
A lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things. Hey, Netton, what did you think about that, Netton?
Okay, that would have been wild. The only thing more wild than Trump as president is Kanye as president. Like wild, fully. Okay, Oklahoma passes a law protecting drivers when there's constant protest. Okay, everyone from college thinks it's their mission to protest. Like, oh, I go to college,
let's
so
block
I could,
the freeway.
yeah, let's block the freeway. I'm paying tuition. Let's block the freeway. So they've just gotten tired of it, and apparently the legislature has passed a rule that says you could just, if they are endangering you in any way, you could drive away, flee the scene, and if you kill somebody, so be it. You know,
I mean, I back that. I can't remember a single protest where they blocked the freeway in Oklahoma.
Oh, we don't live in Oklahoma. It might affect us if we don't live there.
I mean, yeah, it's like I live in Los Angeles, and if I could continue to drive, I would not slow down.
No, believe me, they love blocking the freeway.
Yeah, they love blocking the freeways.
So interesting.
I support it. I think it's I think it'll keep people off the freeway. And I
they don't need to be on the freeway.
I can't think of a single law that's ever been changed because someone blocked the freeway. You know?
Yeah, it's just what did it go? I don't know where they should go. Go nowhere. Don't protest. Okay, California, 140 days. Oh
no, it's New York. They're renting. It's New York, right?
No. This is California. They're paying the person if you're wrongfully convicted.
Oh yeah,
$140 a day to be wrongfully convicted. So
that's
you
$51,000 a year.
Yeah,
$51,000 annually. If you're, but I mean, it still seems
it's not even that much, by the way.
I mean, I guess if you 20 years, you'd get $1 million.
I guess it'd be like if you were wrongfully convicted for 1 year, it would be like a regular teacher, so like the first year of teacher salary, doing nothing.
So, my next question is: do they give you $50K, or is that a pre-tax amount? Or, because I mean, really, after standard deduction, it's like you'd get the 51, but then like really you get 35.
What if it was? They taxed it as a kind of reward,
a short-term capital gain or something.
Oh yeah, what if they taxed it as like a gift from a game show, where it's like the max gift, and you just like give all your money back to the government. I don't understand this idea where the government gives you money and then they claw it back.
Yeah,
it's very insane to me. Okay, we know the U.S. caused the pandemic.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, I wrote that down, by the way.
In one sentence, can you provide a definition of gain-of-function research? And I say that because there becomes a little semantics sometimes, I believe, within the scientific community of what is a chimera and what is gain-of-function.
Yeah, I think it's to take a pathogen and try to increase one of two things or both, to increase its transmissibility or its pathogenicity. I disagree with some of my colleagues at NIH to say the definition is restricted to a pathogen that's already a pathogen. If I make a non-pathogen pathogenic, that's gain of function.
So in your expert opinion, was the Wuhan Institute conducting gain of function research on coronaviruses? Thank you. So one other path of questioning for you, Dr. Redfield. Proponents of this research claim it may result in vaccines or maybe even stop a pandemic. Dr. Redfield, has gain of function created any life-saving vaccines or therapeutics to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge.
Has gain of function stopped a pandemic, in your opinion?
No, on the contrary, I think it probably caused the greatest pandemic our world has seen.
But the U.S. didn't cause we know that there was a lab,
several factors
in Wuhan that may have tried to change and make something a pathogen.
Yeah.
And then when they happen to make a pathogen, they may or may not have caught the biggest pandemic the world has ever seen.
Right.
Which was funny that they said it's the biggest pandemic the world has ever seen, because I think the Black Plague really took the cake.
There's the Black Plague, the Spanish flu. Like, there's a lot of pandemics. This was the most recent one that literally went the whole world at the same time, so it's fresh on our minds. But
when I got COVID, by the way, I called Arthur and he's like, "Finally got something that's gonna kill you."
Well, he's been telling me he's dying every day, all the time. For years, he's telling me he's dying. So there's several factors to this. The idea that we helped fund the entire research behind it, including the spike protein in North Carolina lab, and the researchers went to Wuhan because they got a grant to go there by the the program that went out there that Fauci funded. Fauci basically funds all of the research for the United States, and so that happened. And then the Chinese military is also involved in the Wuhan lab, so they have interests of their own, which is why when the actual leak happened, they killed that one guy who said that the leak's happening, people are getting sick, it's from this lab, I'm sick, and he's dead. Okay, so
the Chinese Wuhan,
literally the Wuhan Chinese lab of virology. There was definitely a leak there, and just the misinformation, and they think it's better to say it came from a wet lab, as if you eat a bat and it touched the pangolin, and it the leaps you have to do to make that work is very unusual. And the fact that we're doing a gain of research in all kinds of labs all over the world, including in Ukraine. It's as the guy said, it's caused more problems than it's solved. So
speaking of causing more problems, the U.S. government and our EPA specifically is posing laws on smaller meatpacking facilities, packing facilities in general, that says they have to be able to clean their wastewater.
Right.
But the issue is there's 4 major meat packing companies, and everything else is super small mom and pop, and they're saying that it's going to cost $1.2 million to install this equipment and $420,000 a year to maintain this equipment.
The EPA is proposing a rule that would decimate small and local meat processors across the country. This week, the EPA revealed plans to nationally regulate nitrogen and other byproducts discharged from meat packing plants into wastewater systems. The EPA estimated that it would cost one meat processing facility $2.3 million to install infrastructure and equipment to remove nitrogen and phosphorus. It would then cost the processor $402,000 per year to operate and maintain the equipment. This is extremely concerning because the regulations and infrastructure requirements would apply to entities regardless of their size. And if you're like me, you might be wondering why the EPA would force the same regulation on small, local, and independent meat processors as it does with the big packing giants. And here's why. The EPA counts all entities with less than 1,000 employees as small. This is a huge mistake because the average meat processing business in the United States has on average 91.4 employees. The EPA groups together operations of all sizes, and in doing so overlooks the impact it'll have on truly small operations. As a result, small entities will have to pay over $2.3 million just to stay in business. Since most don't have anywhere near that type of capital, they'll be forced to close or take on massive loans. As I've said countless times, 4 companies currently control over 80% of meat packing in the United States. This regulation would hurt small processors and give more control to the packing giants. The industry has 4 days to add written comments to the EPA's proposed rule. There will be one more meeting in June, and then the rule would go into effect in December of this year.
Where, I mean, what's the nitrogen coming from? I'm guessing it's like
the cow manure, or just all the different, just all the different waste products. But the key to this problem is that the government says every company smaller than 1,000 people is a small company, and the rule is for small companies. Yeah. So a meatpacking plant, even a big one, even though one of the bigger ones only employs like 900 people. So like the idea that all companies are small. So it's just a problem of the logistics of the law. So this is going to screw over all kinds of farmers and all kinds of parts of the food chain.
I just don't really understand the conspiracy theories where people are talking about all these cow facilities are
destroyed. Yeah,
know,
and the chicken farms are being blown up.
And it's like, and then it's like now this, and it's like, what is the end? The end game that they're trying to reach, is this just George Soros?
Yeah, we might have to call George Soros to figure out, and Bill Gates. Bill Gates
just ultimately be able to poison the food supply with just 3 or 4.
You know, this has been a constant theme currently, and we don't know who's trying to kill us, but we're just trying to look at some names. Okay, moving on. We got the Target fully gone trans. Okay, Target. I don't know what's going on with Target. Historically, it's been a normal, fine corporation, and it's kind of gotten crazy.
Rumor has it Target's new Pride, I'm better than gayer than you collection, whatever, has just dropped. So we're gonna go take a look at it, and I'm a little scared, but you know, it's fine. Let's go. Okay, it's a little busy today, but we're gonna do it anyways. We're doing it anyways. I somehow got lucky finding a parking spot right on the side. I'm a little nervous to see what this entails, but let's do it. I walked in and there was a group of gays like fawning over the gay stuff, and I just had to wait. This was the first thing. Yeah, okay, weird. Oh, by the way, your pet is gay. If you thought your cat was straight, you are wrong. Jesus. Anyways, next. Oh, and if no one told you, your dog is also gay. Into the actual merch. Let's just forget about this flag. Throw it in the trash. What is going on? What is happening right now? Oh my gosh. I would make fun of you for wearing this, not because you're gay, but because it's so ugly. Anyways. It was at this point that I saw the children's collection. I'm so glad we're accepting infants for who they really are in 2023. You think you're done, and then there's more. There's always more. And honestly, I'm curious as to what this candle would even smell like. And don't forget, if you forget what day it is, there's a lot of gay calendars as well. To finish it off, the children's swimsuits. And I'm leaving. Bye.
Where they've gotten a whole set of queer and trans and gay and
dogs, babies,
and
toys.
For kids to tuck your private parts and like all kinds of weird stuff, and it's gotten.
Well, the issue is. Right away,
the issue wouldn't be
you can't listen to the chick in your marketing department with the purple hair. You could just never listen to the chick with the purple hair. Like the ideas come.
What if she has a witch hat on top of her purple hair?
It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where this came from.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure Target is gonna feel the wrath similar to what Bud Light did. You know, I mean,
it's hard to feel the wrath. They're such a huge corporation that like.
I mean, women
shop at Target.
I don't care what anybody does, but that's
they don't have the.
That's pretty weird. Like you as a business, you just shouldn't take a stance on. I think it's money, sex, politics. It like the 3 things you just like shouldn't.
It wouldn't have been an issue if it didn't have kids clothing. But that's
I thought it still would have been weird either way.
It's totally weird either way. But like adults could do what adults want to do. So if they want to S&M part of Target or some kind of weird dominatrix.
Is Target didn't sell pornography or any like sex toys or anything?
I know. They even didn't want to carry music with like explicit lyrics and stuff. And now they're going.
I remember I had to buy. You know what's funny is I remember as a kid I used to have to only buy censored CDs at Target. Yeah. Wow, how the times have changed.
Well, you know, once you get those crazy women in the marketing department, the whole place goes to hell. Okay, what we got? 5 years, Gavin Newsom hasn't met with any sheriffs.
This is the first time in the memory of all of the sheriffs in this state. So the sheriffs, there's only 58 of us in the state, and we come together for meetings every 3 months. The current governor, we're talking 5 years now, he's never met with us once. Every governor before him met with us every 2 months. This governor refuses. He has never met with us, ever. He has no desire to. They're making all of these public safety laws and changing laws that are on the books that concern public safety, closing down prisons, letting people out early. He has never consulted with the public safety experts, the ones that deal with it every single day. Never. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense.
You've tried to reach out to him.
Absolutely.
There's no clear reason why he doesn't.
He's busy. That's the answer. Every governor in our history hasn't been that busy, but apparently he's too busy.
Like, what is going on in California? So basically every, 3 months or 4 months, that the sheriffs from all over the state meet with the governor to talk about, public safety. And it's been happening forever. And, every governor's done it. And it doesn't matter if it's left or right or Republican, Democrat. It's just a common sense thing. Like, talk to the people that actually deal with law and justice. And Gavin Newsom's just a maniac. And he does things...
Well, because
he's been on a tour of different states talking about how we're free and they're not.
He wants to do. He wants to have anyone in California be able to write parking tickets now.
Oh my god!
And it's like, so if we're gonna do that with the sheriff, then it's like, what's even the point of having a sheriff's department? And if anyone,
I think he's still on the defund the police thing. Gavin Newsom. What is he doing?
If anyone can write parking tickets, it's going to be mayhem.
They want you, American citizens, to start writing traffic tickets. Yeah, LA wants to turn Karens into cops. So if you park over the lines, you could end up dealing with this.
I'm placing you under citizen's arrest.
For what?
For parking too close to my car.
Oh, wow, I'll just... Yeah, just move it. Move it.
Oh, no, you don't, princess.
The police are on their way, and I'm just really tired of people like you with no respect for how
the police are not coming.
Yes, they are coming.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are coming.
For what?
To give you a ticket.
For what?
Parking like an idiot.
It's almost like anybody in California is allowed to be a cop, except the cops.
Because if someone's writing me a parking ticket, I'm going to get out of my car and give them a bigger parking ticket, And that's...
You can write the amount.
Yeah, we're finding...
This turned into like kindergarten. 1 plus infinity. Just so stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Anyways, California, I don't know what's going on. Gavin Newsom is Gavin Newsom, okay? Can't get rid of him. We tried to recall him, didn't work. Okay, Bitcoin is big in the third world.
I moved from Australia to Costa Rica to pursue a life of freedom and sovereignty, and collect an extra passport for my child. Here in the southern Pacific zone of the country lies the Bitcoin jungle. There are so many businesses accepting Bitcoin here, from hotels, taxis, restaurants, and tourism activities. Even at the weekly farmers market, many of the vendors are accepting the freedom money. This benefits the locals in many ways, like not having to pay Visa the high transaction fees, which are up to 8% in some areas of Central America. Payments using the Bitcoin Jungle app, for example, are free and transactions settle within seconds. Bitcoin is giving third world countries like Costa Rica, Guatemala, and El Salvador a second chance, allowing them to thrive and opt out of the stranglehold the banks have over them.
Big in Panama, big in all different Costa Rica.
It makes sense though, because you don't have to pay the bank fees, and
the credit card transaction.
Yeah, that's huge. 8% of every transaction, really adds up over time. So
it helps when Bitcoin's more stable, which is currently what's happening. It's kind of like in the 20s. It's
been 26, 28 for
so it's like it makes more sense, but like when Bitcoin's jumping from 60 to 20, it's hard to use. Although Argentina could say we would take Bitcoin over our currency.
Yeah, but still, without inflation for sure. I saw the inflation rate was, or not the 97% for a loan is what Argentina wanted.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what that is. I don't know who's getting a loan at that rate. That's insane.
Right,
so we got Blackrock in Ukraine.
Ukraine killed over 100,000 Ukrainians, but it's still going. Why is that? Because the Biden administration has kept it going. They could have forced a peace. They haven't. They don't want to. Why is that? Why kill all these Ukrainians? Why destroy an entire country? Well, because people are getting rich. Blackrock plans to get rich. So Blackrock is now saying out loud that the war in Ukraine, the death of all these Ukrainians, is actually a great opportunity to transform Ukraine into a beacon of capitalism. Right. Goldman Sachs is excited too. Their CEO says that rebuilding Ukraine represents, quote, good economic incentives for real return and real investment. Imagine. Whose money is that? Oh, it's going to be yours. To rebuild Ukraine, these guys are going to get rich from it. You see how this works?
That was January. And then a few days after those comments by Tucker, BlackRock increased its position in Fox News in February. Coincidence? Yes. BlackRock now owns a massive percentage of Fox News. If you don't think that this had anything to do with Tucker being silenced, then just go to Fox's website, by the way, and do a search for stories about BlackRock. So when you do a search, Tucker did a whole segment on BlackRock. Go there and type in the search results for that segment or any segments on BlackRock. should easily pop up in search results. You can find hundreds of other Tucker segments there, but you won't find anything on Blackrock.
Basically, apparently, there's a thought that they didn't like what Tucker was saying.
Well, it was funny that they saw, I mean, it's just kind of an inhumane worldview of saying, like, hey, all these Ukraine wars, all this death, all this devastation, gives us a huge opportunity to come in and rebuild, supply these people. Vendors will make money.
Right.
Construction workers will make money.
Yeah.
And then Tucker called it out.
Yeah.
And then BlackRock bought a majority share in Fox, and they gave Tucker the boot, which is funny. I mean, I always thought Tucker was kind of funny, but I mean, you can't call out. And honestly, I'm surprised. I mean, we can't use BlackRock for clickbait on this one because they're for sure going to shut us.
They're going to take us right off of YouTube.
Yeah, take us right down.
Destroying Ukraine entirely just to rebuild it for BlackRock's gain is a thought process. Anyways, we're moving on. Back to California, Prop 47 and 57. Just craziness.
Let me ask you a question. Think of a female loved one of yours, and she's at a bar. Someone slips GHB in her drink and drags her home or into an alley and sexually assault her. Do you believe that's a violent crime?
It is. Must be.
Under Prop 57, it's not a violent crime. Let's say we're having this nice conversation and someone comes into this room and starts firing a gun, and thankfully, no one gets hit. Would you consider that a violent crime?
Absolutely.
Under Prop 57, it's still a felony, but not a violent crime.
Wow.
So many of these crimes are still felonies, but now they're considered non-violent felonies, which is a lever to end up not only releasing individuals early, also what it does, it makes it hard for us to keep individuals who actively commit violent crimes from going to prison where many of them belong. So 57 makes it very difficult for us to keep people safe from violent criminals. 47 made it impossible for us to deal with drug addicts and minor crimes, and I don't fault the voters for that. If I was not a police officer and I haven't seen what I've seen for 27 years, and I saw something that said the Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act, I'd vote for it. But when I read that, I knew that was the beginning of the end of public safety.
California, again, I mean, Gavin Newsom doesn't meet with the sheriff, so, I mean, he doesn't care. But, I mean, the idea that, a loved one could be attacked, and then, and then the person could get out, I mean, California fairly quickly, and then, I mean, the majority of people that do this once, I mean, I'm not... People aren't perfect, and sometimes people do recover. But then, for the most part, I mean, if you're out, getting kind of rapey at a bar, drugging people, you're firing a gun at people and missing. Chances are, I mean, I'd be willing to bet statistically, there's at least a 40 to 60% chance that you're gonna engage in that behavior again. And it's just kind of
it's getting crazy in California, including the next part where we're talking about California has this new law where they're protecting other trans kids from fleeing their state and then getting the mutilation thing that they get.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has just signed the Transgender Refuge Bill into law. In effect, this allows the Golden State to become a sanctuary for minors seeking gender transition treatment across state lines. The legislation was first introduced last year by LGBTQ activist Scott Wiener, a Democratic state senator. Also known as Senate Bill 107, it is set to take effect in January. Under the new law, California doctors can perform surgeries on children's genitalia and offer them puberty blockers and hormones without their parents' knowledge or consent. And California courts will now be able to take custody of kids seeking these treatments and enroll them in the state's foster care system. Courts in a child's home state will not be able to file a warrant or subpoena on the basis of gender reassignment treatment. Now, Newsom has praised the law, saying that laws protecting young people from transgender surgeries are hateful and, quote, demonize these youths. But legal advocacy groups have condemned the new law as a violation of the United States Constitution and a severe threat to the safety of children and the rights of parents. Family Policy Alliance President Craig DeRoche said this Friday that Newsom's arrogance is no longer just a threat to California. It's a threat to every governor's authority, every state's boundaries, every parent's rights and responsibilities, and worst of all, to every child.
Where they chop off their genitals or their breasts.
Well, that's fine. Well, I mean, you come to California, you go to Target, you get your T-shirt, and then you go.
Yeah, mutilate your kids.
Well, okay. So as weird as all this is, my first question is do doctors do this for free? I mean, I've dealt with health insurance my whole life, and it's okay. So first of all, who's paying for this? Where's the money coming from? Because doctors need to get paid. The kids have no money. Does health insurance cover this? Is gender reassignment
I
surgery,
don't
something
know
that's covered under health
what
insurance?
what this is about, because this is about if you leave and your parents aren't even told.
Yeah.
Like you would get a surgery without your parents even knowing.
Well, your parents are going to know when they get the bill.
And the other state can't even recall you back to the state. They can't. They're saying that California is protected against actually sending the kid back to their parents.
But then you end up, you really don't want to end up in the California foster system. Like
and they're going to put you in the, they act like that's like a bonus. Like, no, that's hell. Oh, God. Just imagine, like, they're, like, okay with rape, and then they put you in the foster care system.
It's like, so how does this happen, though? Because it's like you run from your state, you come to California to get this gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
Most insurances only cover you. So you're on your parents' health insurance, you're covered in state, and then you go to another state, you're not covered in this state.
I'm sure George Soros is funding it.
Okay.
All right, last story. Birth rate drops. The Pope is mad about people talking about being dog moms.
The Pope got together with the Italian Prime Minister to discuss a serious issue, which is the declining birth rate in Italy. The Prime Minister actually declared it a national state of emergency, and they're very, very upset. This past year alone, there was under 400,000 new births, and there was over 700,000 deaths. So basically, half the population of Italy is declining every single year. So they got together and they were discussing that they want people to start more families, have more kids, and the Pope was actually mad about people who call their dogs kids, and basically was saying they're not your kids. We really need young people to start having kids in the country and get this birth rate up. Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Moms. Like, first of all, I agree with the Pope, because people that say that their dog is their children is the most annoying bullshit of all time. It's the biggest cope of all time. And we accept it because we don't want to deal with the modern woman, which is a whole other story. So we just like, oh yeah, the dog's your kid. That's cool, because I'm not going to have a kid with you because you're crazy. That's basically what's happened in the world today, is that we just ignore crazy women.
Country in Africa.
A country in Africa? There's no country in Africa. Africa is a continent.
Let's go. Correct.
Alright, I know my shit.
Correct.
No, because if you got 8 plus 2 is 10, then 8 plus 2 is 10, then 10 times 10 is 100. So,
Women.
No, I'm right and you're wrong.
Women.
Do you get it now though?
Because they're gotten, it's not like
they want their kids to have gender reassignment surgery. You can't let them just have a dog and not get the kid involved.
It's not entirely their fault in that we made them have to do all parts of society, where before they only had to have kids and stay at home and all stuff. And then we decided, no, you have to go to work, go to college, do exactly what we do, and then take a life break where you have a kid and forget everything you did in your career and just take care of the kid, and then go immediately back to the career and try to strive to be better. It's basically, we've told them you have to do everything at all times, and it's making them crazy. And
I don't think that's making them crazy. I think they were crazy at the beginning.
Well, they've always been crazy, but at least that they've been able to kick back. Now they have no kickback. They have to be working all the time.
Yeah.
So, did we do it to ourselves? Maybe we need the Pope to get involved. I don't know what's going to happen. It's happening.
What's the Pope? What are they? I think the big issue is the fact that the cost of living is so high. So
what's funny is that
how are people going to have kids?
Russia is paying parents to have kids because they're killing them all in the war, and they're like, we're losing population. They're losing population in China.
If Gavin Newsom gives me some money to have some kids. Yeah. I'll pop a couple out, and I'll give him a gender reassignment surgery.
He only wants you to get paid for raping somebody. He doesn't want you to have normal kids. He's like, he probably would give you money. Yeah, it's the whole thing is it would make sense if we got rid of the tax break for marriages and only. It would be better if you just paid no tax if you have 3 kids. Just no tax. Just no tax. You have 3 kids, just don't pay taxes anymore.
No, it should be way more than 3. But there should be because
actually, a bunch of real people would just have 3 kids. They'd be like, oh, this is great for me.
Yeah. 3 different chicks, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there has to be a better way, because first of all, individuals pay too much. Married couples somehow get the tax break without having anything, and then people with kids get the same.
Well, Elon Musk has been talking about this. He's like, we're gonna have a population default.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're gonna drop, and I'm on this bandwagon too. I'm telling everybody to have kids, but me and the Pope and Elon Musk, me and the Pope are really going hard. Anyways, that's been this
The Last American Podcast.
The Last American Podcast.
Episode 3. Have a good night, guys.
Hell yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Episode 4.
That was not episode 4.